There's no evidence that children are better with mothers. All the evidence suggests.
What's going on, fellas? We got one from Men Only. Woman can't stop crying as she ruined her marriage, regrets it instantly because she's left with nothing. Let's get into it.
Here's your daily reminder that if you're in a relationship with someone, even if you're married, and the person is just not a good person, do not have a baby with them for your baby's sake. Also for your sake, but mainly for your baby's sake. It's court ordered that every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, if my baby's with me or if my baby's with my ex, we get a 30-minute FaceTime call. My baby's been sleeping during that time, so I have not been able to talk to her since Tuesday. Earl told me today that she's usually going to sleep at 7 o'clock, which is our FaceTime call court ordered time, right? So I said, okay, well, I want to talk to her before she goes to sleep. And he said, I'm following the order, which means that if my baby is asleep, then I don't get to talk to her. He has control right now, and he's loving it. And I only cry because it's just really sad for my baby. And he thinks that because my baby's happy and she's safe and all these things, she doesn't need me. My baby is a happy baby. She's a happy baby. She's the happiest baby, actually. He thinks that because she is happy that she doesn't need me.
Now, I will say, from what I understand so far, just following the court order, I think that is kind of malicious, because you could wake the child up and let mama say goodnight to her and then have her go back to bed or whatever. But I do understand it's hard to get babies to sleep, and maybe looking at it from the other side, she would probably say, oh man, it's going to be too much work to wake up the baby. Try calling again tomorrow or whatever it is. So it's kind of hard for me to feel sorry for modern women, because they would do something like that and not let the child see or talk to the baby or even see the baby.
I don't understand that, because she does need me. Just like she needs you. Just a few more weeks and then we have court, and I'm getting all this in front of a judge, and I can't wait. I literally cannot wait.
Here's the thing. This woman sitting in her car, crying over her divorce, is a perfect example of how some people don't take accountability for their own choices. She filed for divorce, thinking she was making a move to better her life or prove a point. But now, after losing everything, including custody of her daughter, she's sitting in regret, blaming her ex-husband instead of facing the reality of her own actions. It's a story we've seen countless times. Someone makes a decision in the heat of the moment, often fueled by emotion or bad advice, only to realize later they made a huge mistake. Instead of taking responsibility, though, it's easier to shift the blame to someone else. In this case, her ex-husband becomes the scapegoat for her own failure to handle the situation with maturity and foresight. Now, she's co-parenting, a situation she likely didn't want but brought upon herself, and still refuses to see the part she played in this outcome. It's a hard pill to swallow, but sometimes the freedom or happiness people think they're chasing when they break up a family turns out to be a mirage. Meanwhile, her ex-husband, the man she tried to leave behind, is likely moving on and focusing on raising their child. He's showing up, doing what needs to be done, while she's stuck crying in her car. And let's be real, how do you lose custody of your own child unless there are some serious issues at play?
That's a good point, because these modern women, they do what's best for them. Like I was just mentioning, they do what's best for them, and you could feel sorry for them in the moment. Like I was giving an example of, well, he could have let her talk to the baby, but if it were her, the shoe was on the other foot, then she would leave that baby sleep. I believe that she would leave that baby sleep. Well, try again. Oh, I'm so sorry. Just following court orders. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just don't want to wake up the child. You know how hard it is to get him back to sleep, and I don't get to talk to my child for 2 and 3 days. You wouldn't be upset about that. But these modern women create scenarios, and they want everybody to feel sorry for them. But when the shoe is on the other foot, they have no sympathy or empathy for the other party. That's too bad.
What in the actual is wrong with my life? God won't give you more than you can handle. But when I say that, like, I can't handle this, I mean it. I can't handle it. I can't.
Never felt such loneliness and such sadness and such emptiness. I've never felt so defeated in my life. Every day I wake up, I speak life over myself. I speak life over my life. I speak life over my kids. And every single day, something happens. And I'm not talking about like, oh, you get a flat tire. I'm talking about big, serious shit. Every day, just more adds on to my laundry list of things that I got to figure out by myself. Fearful every day that my life is going to fall apart even more than it already is. And it does every day. And I'm not speaking that over myself. It's facts. If you've experienced hell on earth, if you could just maybe give me some words of encouragement. I feel like I am just drowning. And I'm so tired of being sad. I'm so tired. I just want peace.
Here's the thing. She's sitting there, feeling empty and defeated, asking what's wrong with her life, but deep down, she probably already knows the answer. It's just easier to avoid it than to face the truth. She made choices that tore apart her family, choices that prioritized her own feelings in the moment over the bigger picture, and now she's reaping the consequences. The emptiness she feels isn't some mystery. It's the result of chasing temporary happiness instead of building something lasting. She thought leaving her marriage would bring her peace or freedom, but what she's realizing now is that the grass isn't always greener. The high of walking away fades quickly, and what's left? Regret. And let's not forget, how do you lose custody of your own child? That alone says volumes about the situation. If the court deemed the father to be the better parent, there's something seriously off in her choices or her behavior. Yet, instead of taking a hard look at herself, she's stuck in this cycle of blaming everyone else. Her ex, the system, the world. When the common denominator is her, she's asking what's wrong with her life. But here's the truth. What's wrong is that she never took responsibility. Instead of growing through the challenges in her marriage, she ran from them. Instead of putting her child first, she put her own ego first. And now, when the consequences are staring her in the face, she feels lost because she can't accept that this is the life she created. It's a hard pill to swallow, but the first step to fixing her life is admitting she's the one who broke it. Until she takes accountability, that emptiness she feels isn't going anywhere. She needs to stop pointing fingers, stop crying over the past, and start making better decisions for herself and for her child. Because let's be real, feeling defeated doesn't mean life is over. It means you have a chance to rebuild. But the question is, will she learn from this? Or will she keep running from the truth? That's up to her.
And judging based off this video, she's not. She's not going to learn her lesson. She's not going to take accountability. She's just going to continue running from the truth because it's easier. It's easier to blame him. Oh, he's the one who put me in this position and the world is against me. The universe is against me. That's why I have a flat tire. My babies don't love me anymore. My bag of chips fell and spilled on the ground. I don't have any gas in my tank. My sugar fell off the top shelf and hit me in the head. An alligator bit me on my ankle. A snake slapped me on my behind. All these other things that just push you away from what you actually need to be doing. And that's taking responsibility for the things that you ruined in your life. Men are very familiar with this because it's what they have to do, even if they don't want to. Their friends, family, and society is going to force them to take accountability and correct it, or you're just straight out of luck.
I just showed up at my parents' house because my baby's there. I want to see my baby because I haven't seen my baby in days. And I'm being told that I'm not going to see my baby. So I showed up at my parents' house, knock on the door. My dad answers the door with his arms crossed. He hasn't seen me in 6 months. He hasn't talked to me in 6 months. He said, "Can I help you?" Not like that. Hold on. Not like that. Hold on. I got to show you how he did this. Because it's definitely part of it. "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, is my baby here?" "You need to leave. You are not allowed to be here." I'm like, "I'm here to see my baby." "I'm not here to see you. I'm here to see my baby." "Amber, you need to go get help. You need to take care of her mental illness." Also, he's like real close to me. He's like trying to scare me, which it doesn't scare me. It just makes me sad that my dad is trying to scare me and that my dad is against me. It makes me sad. Long story short, I did not see my baby. I lost my shit. It's like screaming at the top of my lungs, as if there was like a death or something. I have no regrets. I am losing my mind. I'm doing everything I possibly can. I can only do so much because I don't have money just flowing out of my ass. I swear on my life that I will not stop until I get justice for all of this. This is not fair, not just to me, but also to my baby. My baby needs me. My baby wants me. My baby loves me. And there's nothing that you can ever do to take that from her or me. Promise you there's not.
Here's the thing. When you choose weed or any other self-destructive habit over your own child, you've already made it clear where your priorities lie. And honestly, it sounds like her dad, the granddad, stepped up and did what any real man would do: protect his grandchild. Kudos to him for putting the child's well-being first when the mother clearly wouldn't. Let's be real here. Being a grown adult means owning up to your responsibilities, especially when it comes to your kids. But she's proven time and again that she doesn't want to help herself. It's one thing to struggle and ask for help. It's another to ignore that help and continue making selfish choices. At some point, the people around you get tired of watching you spiral and they step in, not for you, but for the innocent child caught in the middle. The fact that her dad is taking charge tells me he's had enough of her nonsense. He's likely seen the red flags for years, tried to guide her, tried to support her, and finally realized that the only way to ensure his granddaughter's future is to take matters into his own hands. And let's not forget, children don't ask to be born into this world. They deserve love, stability, and parents who will always put them first. She's a grown woman, not a teenager figuring things out. At this point, if she doesn't care enough about herself to get it together, fine, but don't drag your child down with you. That's where the line gets drawn.
I mean, it's not justice. Well, not justice in the way that you see it. Justice would be you going and getting help. Your dad is right. You think your baby needs to see you in that situation, in that space, in that mental capacity? Probably not. And I think that you know this. These modern women will do anything and everything but the right thing. If a judge orders you to do something, if the law would order you to do something, God forbid, if the pastor goes and says, man, you need to fix this, or a counselor or anybody tells you to go fix something, come back, and then you can see your children, they're not going to do it because that's not what they want to do. They want to do it their way. And then they want to get mad at society for saying, nope, these are the rules. You're going to follow them. But you've been in this space for too long. And when the man puts a stop to it, then you get upset with him.
If you're my soon-to-be ex-husband, if this is only for you, hey, I'm just wondering, what the f is your problem? If you're too scared to comment, or if you're, for legal reasons, you're not able to comment, have one of your friends or something comment, because I actually cannot wrap my head around it. The only thing that seems rational to me is just to hurt me. And you're doing a good job at it. You're trying really hard to knock me down, and you do knock me down most days, but I always get right the fuck back up. None of this would be happening right now if I wouldn't have left you. I would be at home with my baby right now, and you're home. But I would be miserable. Would I rather have my baby and be miserable? Honestly, I do think about it. It will be the best day of my life when I get my baby back. And no matter what, I would never teach her to hate. No matter how much I hate you, I will never teach her to hate. She'll figure it out on her own. Love isn't about all the materialistic things that you think it is. You're so emotionally unavailable. It's not even funny. Tried so hard to bring your heart out of you because I did see goodness in you. Thank you for teaching me a really hard lesson, but you taught me to never, ever, ever try to fix someone again. The next person that I'm with is going to bring peace into my life. Did you get the email saying that divorce will be final December 5th? It's a really long time, but I actually am really excited because 2025, I'll be able to start a new year without you, and it's going to be the best year of my life. Just got to find a positive in everything,
Life is about choices, and every decision has its consequences. She made her bed, and now she has to lie in it. You can't keep making selfish, reckless choices and then expect sympathy when it all comes crashing down. That's not how life works. At some point, people need to stop blaming others for their own mistakes and take accountability. She prioritized temporary highs over her own child and her responsibilities, and now she's facing the fallout. It's harsh, but it's reality. Life doesn't give handouts for poor choices. It rewards accountability, growth, and effort. She had opportunities to turn things around. Help from her family, support to get on the right track, but she threw it away. Now she's sitting in the mess she created. This isn't just a lesson learned situation. This is the result of repeatedly ignoring what really matters. And honestly, maybe this tough love is what she needs to hit rock bottom and finally take some responsibility. Until then, the people who truly care about the child are doing what needs to be done. In the end, you reap what you sow. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth.
You're not going to be with anybody. You don't need to be with anybody. You need to be with yourself and with a counselor. You need to fix your problems. But once again, they're not going to do it because why solve a problem when I can create more? Why fix an issue when I can fabricate and manufacture more? When I can make everybody else's life miserable, why not just stop all of the misery and we can all get along in peace? Modern women logic.
There's no evidence that children are better with mothers. All the evidence suggests they're better with fathers. That's the first thing they'll tell you, is that men don't fight for custody. But you don't know why. And the reason why a lot of the times is, one, the lawyers will tell them not to, because they'll have to spend $50,000 or $30,000 and they probably won't win statistically. That's the first reason. And the second reason is many men can't afford it. Many people in America are living paycheck to paycheck. Many men have average jobs and they're difficult and they don't have extra spending money. Many men have sacrificed their income for their family the past however many years, and they don't have the extra money to spend on a lawyer. And on top of that, they have a full work schedule. Maybe they've been kicked out of their house. And what are women good at doing? Complaining. That is our number one thing. We're very good at that.
When you look at the statistics, single fathers often do an excellent job raising their children, yet they rarely get the recognition they deserve. The bias in the family court system has been undeniable for decades. Even when fathers step up and actively fight for custody, they're often dismissed before they even have a chance to prove themselves. The system has been designed with the assumption that mothers are the default best caregivers. But times have changed. Many fathers are just as, if not more, capable of providing a stable, nurturing environment for their children. Yet, the courts continue to lean heavily toward maternal custody, no matter the circumstances. It's no wonder so many fathers don't fight for custody. It's emotionally draining, financially devastating, and feels like an uphill battle from the start. Why spend years in court just to get railroaded? Many men feel defeated before they even begin, which is exactly what the system counts on. However, the tide is slowly starting to shift. More men are speaking out, fighting for change, and showcasing their abilities as loving, responsible parents. Fathers who are willing to fight the bias deserve immense respect, because it's not just a battle for custody. It's a battle against deeply ingrained societal stereotypes. What's most important is the child, and children thrive in stable, loving environments. Gender should never determine who gets custody. Capability, stability, and dedication should. It's time the system started recognizing that and giving fathers the fair shot they deserve.
I got to say, I find that most men are a resilient bunch. I mean, you can make the case for human beings in general, but men are resilient and they have to be. And so when men get into the situation like this, to where you take their children from them, they usually go through steps in order to be in that child's life. But unfortunately, because of the court system and the maliciousness of a lot of these women, they keep on stacking the deck against the man. The man overcomes those obstacles through years. Sometimes this doesn't take months. It takes literal years, and they overcome it, fight to be back in the child's life. And then the mother and the courts just continue to stack the deck even more. Here's more cards. Draw 4. Oh, you are close to going out again. You called Uno. Draw 8. Draw 16. That's cheating. Oh, well, we don't care. We just want to win. And you continue to draw. Oh, you cleared out the deck again, even though I stacked it against you. Oh, here, draw 1,000, literally in some cases. But women don't care. The court system in a lot of these situations doesn't care. What are men supposed to do? Oh, see, I told you didn't care about your children. I do, but you took all my money away from me. I had to work, but that's okay. Men continue to fight through these situations And then even though the child is upset with them, they try to do everything that they can in hopes that the child, when they get older, will see mom was tripping. She was going off the deep end. But unfortunately, a lot of times, in a lot of different situations, you have issues that happen, results that happen, like the breakdancing dad, where his daughters, not his son, his daughters listen to the foolishness of their mother, who, by the way, should have left him alone. Oh, he didn't give me this. He didn't provide that. He didn't pay for that, which he has court records and receipts that he did. Oh, he didn't care. You sent him to jail so he couldn't pay for anything. Oh, and by the way, he was writing letters. He was sending money, and then he was trying to spend time with them. Documentation of that. Yet and still, they believe the poison and the lies of their mom. Oh, he never came by. He lived just up the street, and he never came by to see you guys. He never spent any dimes, any money on you, not a dime. And he got receipts for all that. Lying. Just for them to grow up and then try to blast him on TikTok. And then him, imagine that, having to go in a back and forth with his daughter about, yes, I was there for you. Yes, I did take care of you. Modern women logic.
A man on a dating app wants a conversation over the phone or FaceTime before going out on a date. That is a red flag, and let me explain. This isn't 100%, but in my experience, those guys want a phone call because they are bad at dating. They tend to just have bad personalities, not know how to have a conversation. They've been burned by going out on all these dates, which is why they want to do phone interviews first. In my experience,
no, let's just call this what it is. Y'all don't want to FaceTime or talk on the phone because you don't look anything like your pictures and you're too insecure to pick up the phone and have a FaceTime one-on-one with a man before a date because you hate how you look. Call it what it is. It is not a man's fault that you are so insecure that you have to have a full face of makeup on just to have a FaceTime interaction with this man. The audacity to say that this has to do with a man's poor dating experiences and that he's been dating so much and he sucks, as if there's not equally, collectively, women out there on the dating scene contributing to the show that is dating. Y'all love to point the finger and only put it one-sided as if the men are the only ones actively involved in dating experiences. And what's so freaking crazy is that if the roles were reversed and she's asking for a FaceTime or a phone call or whatever it is, and he says no, now all of a sudden he's creepy, there's something wrong with him because it's not normal for him to not want to FaceTime you. Women will be so quick to stalk a man's social media and know his brothers, sisters, cousins, moms who got married 2 years ago and had a baby and all the shit. But when he wants to get to know her and know what she looks like on the real time, now it's a problem. It's always rules for thee, not for me mentality. And let's be so for real. This man who wants to FaceTime has boundaries, has communication skills, knows what he wants, knows that he doesn't want to waste his time. That is a whole man. And these women are just showing how insecure they are. So I promise you that if a woman does not want to talk to you on the phone or FaceTime, drop her. She's insecure. She doesn't know how to speak up. She doesn't know how to communicate, and she's playing games. Okay, bye.
Absolutely. We're not fooling with that. And that's why I advocate, get on that phone. I said multiple times on my channel, I have talked to women for 3 and 4 hours in one night. And after that conversation, I said, you know what? You seem like a nice person, but I don't think we're going to make it. I've had to block some people, but the point is, I'm not spending any money on you. I'm not going out on a date because I don't feel like we're going out in the same direction. And you're going to have to accept my boundary. You really have no choice because I'm not coming out the house and I'm not going to pay for you. I'm not wasting my time or my money. And you should be so happy that I told you up front and I was honest about it. But too many times modern women get in their feelings and they want to get mad at the man because the man rejected them or put them down and say, you know what? This ain't for me. They wanted to be the ones that did that. Nah, not this time.
A man wanting to FaceTime before a date isn't a sign of insecurity. It's common sense in today's world. With all the catfishing, filters, and games going on, verifying that the person you're planning to meet is who they claim to be is just being smart. It's not about insecurity. It's about protecting one's time, energy, and even safety. And let's not pretend women don't do the same. Many women want to screen guys before meeting, but the moment a man does it, suddenly he's insecure. The double standard here is laughable. Calling men insecure for wanting a FaceTime is just a way to dodge accountability. If someone refuses to jump on a quick video call, it begs the question, what are they trying to hide? A lack of personality, perhaps? Filters doing too much heavy lifting? Or maybe they're juggling multiple dates and can't keep their stories straight. Let's be real. Men are just adapting to the game women have been playing for years. FaceTiming before a date isn't about lacking personality. It's about ensuring the vibe is right and avoiding wasted effort. If anything, it shows that he values his time and is serious about meeting genuine people. So, if this 304 thinks men who FaceTime first are the problem, maybe she should look in the mirror. Real men aren't falling for the nonsense anymore. They're setting boundaries and filtering out the drama.
4B movement has evolved into something so much more funnier than I could ever imagine it to be. They are shaving their heads. Honestly, good riddance, because us sane women deserve prettier hair anyways. So not only are these Mayo monsters sitting there holding back their bodies as if the whole world hasn't smashed through it already like the Hulk, but now they're shaving their heads to make themselves unappealing to men. Maybe perhaps they don't understand the only men they're hurting in this is liberal men, but that's none of conservative people's issues. They really think it's such a gotcha because they learned how to close their, disease-ridden salami pockets and shave their head to make themselves easily recognizable.
The 4B movement is honestly doing men a huge favor. It's like a self-cleaning mechanism for the dating pool. The toxic energy, the unrealistic expectations, and the entitlement are literally removing themselves from the equation. Men don't even have to do anything. They're just sitting back, watching it all unfold. What's wild is that these women think they're making some grand statement by opting out or withholding, but all they're doing is signaling to good men that they're not worth the time or effort. And honestly, that clarity is refreshing. For good men who have been burned or frustrated with modern dating, this might actually create a window to try again. With the chaos voluntarily stepping aside, it becomes so much easier to spot the women who are grounded, genuine, and actually interested in partnership instead of playing games. The irony is rich, though. The movement claims to be empowering women, but in reality, it's empowering men to breathe easier, avoid drama, and focus on women who truly bring value. It's like separating the wheat from the chaff, but the chaff is doing the work for you. So to all the good men out there, hang tight. The dating pool is about to become a lot clearer, and the difference between the sane and the mentally unstable will be easier than ever to spot. Thank you, 4B movement, for making dating better without even realizing it.
Incredibly disrespectful, incredibly immature, and it just shows you how some of these modern women live their lives, and they wonder once again why they can't find a man. It's because you're very immature. Like you don't know how to handle your emotions, your feelings, and it's going to let me know that in the future, if something doesn't go your way, then you're going to throw a fit. And not only are you going to throw a fit, you're going to get online and say, I'm throwing a fit. Who wants to throw a fit with me? And there's going to be countless hundreds of thousands of other women throwing fits, and y'all are all going to be in the same pool. And 10, 15 years from now, you're going to be like, where are the men at? There's nobody masculine that can handle us. We need somebody that's strong, that can really put us in our feminine, really can body slam us into our feminine, like power slam us into our feminine. That's who we need. Just really just dog us out into our feminine type of foolishness. But by that time, men, whatever you want to call them, beta, sigma, alpha, then moved on to greener pastures. But they don't have to worry about foolishness like that. And you be sitting around with your girls watching Golden Girls reruns, wasting your life away because you decided to act stupid when you were 30 years old.
Men don't care about your personality. They don't care about your dreams, your goals, what you want to achieve in life, your likes, your dislikes. They don't care about these things. Men do not care about you as a person. They care about what you can offer them. They care about if there's something in it for them. That's why men usually don't do things unless they're going to get something out of it. So if a man is going out of his way, doing a lot of things, and you're like, oh my God, he's doing all these grand gestures, he wants something. He's doing it to get something out of you. Men don't do things just because they're kind human beings. If a man's doing something, he wants something out of you. He wants access to you. He wants access to you. That's why a lot of men love bomb in the beginning stages, because it's a manipulation tactic that is used to make you feel closer than you actually are. The more closer you feel to the man, the more he knows he's going to have access to you. The more he's going to get what he wants. That's why you have to be switched on. You have to be switched on. You have to be on the lookout for these things.
Bad choices often lead to bad outcomes, and accountability is key here. Meeting the wrong men repeatedly isn't just bad luck. It's a pattern, a reflection of the decisions being made. The truth is, there are good men out there who care deeply, who love with intention, and who are willing to invest in a relationship. But they aren't drawn to chaos, entitlement, or toxic energy. If someone's never experienced a good man's love, be it from a father, brother, or partner, it's worth asking why. The constant cycle of wrong men isn't a coincidence. It's a result of personal choices. The reality is, good men aren't going to stick around for someone who doesn't value or respect them, and they're certainly not going to put up with someone who refuses to take responsibility for their own life. It's not about hate, it's about facts. Repeated bad choices lead to a life that reflects those decisions. And until those patterns are acknowledged and changed, the same mistakes will keep happening. Good men are out there, but they aren't going to chase after someone who can't see the value in them. That's just the reality.
I just don't get why you would want to be around men that you have to be, quote unquote, switched on for. Like, if these guys aren't some people that think about you, like they don't have your best interest in mind, then why would you be hanging around those types of people? It would seem like after a while you would have at least thought about it with some kind of deeper level of critical thinking to say, these are the things that bums exhibit. These are the behaviors that narcissistic men, or whatever you want to call them, they exhibit these types of behaviors. So therefore, I'm going to stay away from these type of men. But it seems like instead of staying away from these type of men, you're walking right into them. Maybe because you want a confrontation, maybe because they give you some type of attention, maybe some type of adrenaline rush. I'm not sure what it is, but it sounds like you're wasting your time and you're getting on here to waste other women's time instead of just saying, look out for these characteristics, look out for these behaviors, and you should be okay. That's pretty much it. But you'd rather get on here, build your following about being a victim, sell some courses, sell some books, and then y'all all waste each other's time talking about in a reunion how none of this stuff worked. You never got a man, you never got married, and you're tired of being licked on the face by your dog. You just want the love and the affection of a real man every so often. But you don't know why these men don't want you. They just want to sleep with you, yada, yada, yada. You should have been thinking about that once again a long time ago and planning your future out instead of wasting time and talking stupid here on the internet about how to look out for men that you shouldn't be around in the first place. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Until the next video, I'm out.